Greetings. This is Skylar Saunders seeing what's current. All right. There's another aspect of the show. There's another view. I'm just playing with the lighting and the positioning of the built-in camera on the MacBook. I hope you can see me okay. Everything's in focus. I think everything looks clear. My hat needs to be within the shot. Okay. Um, I appreciate everyone who is here and everyone who will be here. First and foremost, we must say subscribe to Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube.com. This is a special site. This is a great site for music heads, for music lovers of soul R&B, Quiet Storm, different things like that. It's a great haven for just great listening uh, time, time to listen to music. So go to Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube. Tell him that I sent you. Make sure when you hit that subscribe button that you send him a message and say, "Look, that goofy Skylar Saunders said, he wanted me to come here. So let that be known." All right. Show for tonight. Very serious. Seems like a plot line to a hip hop CSI episode or something like that. Or, if there was a love and hip hop CSI vehicle, it would probably feature this as a fictionalized version. I mean, this would probably be a part of the plot line. What has transpired is a gentleman by the name of rap name Sirtanky. His given name is Javonnta Murphy. He was found on the 31st of July in a barrel off the coast of Malibu in California. And his apparent murder, since he was stripped naked and it seems like he was stuffed into this barrel, has ties, has connections, is related to Pop Smoke's murder from just over 3 years ago. And it just seems like it's like a plot thickening device. It's like, okay, something else is happening. The majority of the people that have been connected to Pop Smoke's murder, they have either pled guilty or confessed or some sort of issue where they let known their culpability. With this case, it seems like it could be very difficult, or it could be very easy. It's only difficult because there are. And by the way, this is my source. Let me see. Her name is Bernadette Giacomazzo. I'm pretty sure she's Italian. But she, in the article, it reads that this could have been a revenge killing for Pop Smoke's death. His body was, discovered uh, in a metal barrel that had washed up on about Malibu's coast. This is what happens with the police. Lieutenant Hugo Reinaga of the Sheriff's Homicide Bureau confirmed that the metal barrel first washed up on Malibu shores on Sunday, July 30th. At the time, the maintenance worker who discovered the barrel didn't open it, nor did he suspect anything out of the ordinary about it. So, this was a case of just complete, complete and utter, circumstances out of anyone else's control. It just happened to be that this barrel will wash up on the shore and have it, be the remains of this person connected to Pop Smoke's murder. I mean, truth is stranger than fiction. Fact is stranger than fiction, because you wouldn't expect, who would have thought that any of this would have transpired. And the people that, whoever it was that murdered Sirtanky, um, they would have to be, either crawling around and trying to, find cover and not be discovered, and that's the complete opposite to most of the people that have stepped forward in this case. Um, so it's just it was it's just it says according to detectives, the barrel came from what they believe to be a printing company, and are trying to determine if there is a connection between the printing company and the manner of Sirtanky's death. They want to know that because it is still a very serious case with Pop Smoke's murder. Now with this homicide, it was already Pop Smoke's murder is already open homicide investigation. Uh, you know, and this is part of what is going on with Sirtanky. He has every bit of a chance to his family has every bit of a chance to be informed of what happened to him. You know, this is what's serious about it. Um, because it says according to TMZ, this is from TMZ, Jaquan Murphy, who was originally arrested in connection to the Queens rapper's murder back in 2020, but subsequently cleared of the crime, is the brother of Javonnta Murphy, better known as Sirtanky. So that could just be sick and twisted irony. He was cleared of all charges, but he could suffer because he suffers because of his brother's death. That he may not have, he may not have the full connection to it. Okay, salute. Kareem TV. Hey, Skylar. Yeah, with the A. It's an E, sir. It's an E, or is it a ma'am? Is that a woman? I can't tell. Kareem TV. It's all right. I can't tell your gender. What's your gender? Am I talking to a man, or I'm talking to a woman, or I'm talking to an other, or there, they, them? State your pronouns. See, let's see what's really popping. I'm glad you're from Copenhagen. I have a international audience. I have people from Europe, Asia, Africa. I do have an international audience. So I'm trying to keep the hat in the move it back just a little bit. Morocco, okay. So from Denmark, Copenhagen, and Morocco. Oh, so now I'm confused. Is it? Are you from Denmark or are you from Morocco? And are you a female or a male? I can't tell. And our target for today is $40. So $40 is all y'all have to do. Just put in that money. Live in Denmark, North African. Okay. Understood. Are you a female or are you a male? I think you're a male. You're a male. That seems like a male's name, Kareem. Kareem is male, right? Yeah. You're a male. All right. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube. That's the homie. That's the big homie. He definitely represents this machine, and I thank him for it. I appreciate everything he does, and according to this story, going back to the story, this is just like I said, this is like some if California Vice, it's like I don't even know if this Malibu Vice, like it seems like that has that flavor to it, like it's supposed to be like a story that's unfolding, but this is real life, kids. This is real life. This is truth. This happened. This is an ongoing story. Pop Smoke's death is ongoing. If Tupac's and Biggie's murders are still unsolved, they're still looking for Pop Smoke. Definitely, because it was just not even 5 years ago that he was killed, murdered. So with this case, with the Sirtanky or Javonta Murphy case, it seems like there's no closure because you don't get closure. I don't think there's closure that for someone being murdered, or even if somebody dying of natural causes. There's no quote unquote closure. You just have to understand what happened and see if you can move on and go forward. but there is no closure really, and you shouldn't expect people to be in a position to be in to say that they're seeking closure. But within the rap world, the drill rap, which Pop Smoke pioneered. He was one of the pioneers of drill rap, and especially for New York City, he didn't even blow up all the way. He was like bubbling. He didn't have that monumental album. He didn't have. I don't even think he had a debut album. I think he just had mixtapes. And, he had you know different songs on different people's albums. He didn't have that you know discography that most people usually have. He didn't have the chance. He wasn't given that chance. He had one studio album or two studio albums, excuse me. Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon. It hit number one on the U.S. charts, and Faith hit number one on the U.S. charts. Those are the studio albums, just two. He had singles. He was a featured artist, yeah, and other certified and charted songs. Okay, so he was, reckoning. He definitely was going to be that guy. He was definitely on that route until he was cut short. That's what I say about life in general. Life is long. Life isn't short. I mean, it's a comparatively and a relative statement to say that life is short. I mean, do we have the lives of tortoises or redwoods? No. So therefore, you would say that we're pretty short, or great whale, uh, blue whales. We don't have their lifespan, but maybe in the future, and it's talking science fiction. We could have some kind of way where we understand each other on a way that we extend our lives, and and unless we get cut short, like these two gentlemen. They had their shot at stardom, Pop Smoke especially. Sirtanky I never heard of, and he probably was bubbling in the California scene, but he was found in a drum. He was found in a barrel, a 55-gallon barrel, and that was the end of his chapter. That was you know the final seal on that was his coffin. That was his coffin. That was his casket. That's what stopped his role. That's what kept him from being part of the masses, part of the people, part of the being as an individual. He was stopped. He was cut short, and I think Miss Giacomazzo did a very good job with reporting the story for this is my source, hiphopdx.com/news/pop smoke murder dead rapper barrel. That's the source. So if you have any understanding of how the authorities function, this is it. They're looking for clues. They're trained to find out who was linked to this slang, who started it, what was the case, and all of that, and just how far it went. That's what's so important to realize, because we have a serious case of hip hop being almost animalistic. Yes, I said it, animalistic. They mate, they hunt and kill and are apex killers and are surplus killers and just kill for sport, for for clout, for chasing that bag. That's what it's about. That's what sadly it's come to that. We don't have a state of unity and rationality in hip hop. It's a free for all. You get in, you see if you can get what you got, and try not to get killed. It's basically it. Then you have these people like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and 50 Cent, even you know Nas, Jay Z, all these living legends, who have found a way to stay alive, even when their friends have died, have been killed, murdered. All three, all the ones names I mentioned, they all have had ties to somebody that was murdered. So it comes to a point where you have to recognize that there are no people that are more willing to be on the side of wrong. I'm just checking something. I gotta check. I'm checking a text real quick. But more people are on the side of wrong than are on the side of right. They think that their whole modus operandi is to be a killer, be wolves. These streets have no love. You have to remember that. These streets have zero love. Obviously, look what happened. You think the streets got love for Pop Smoke or Tupac or Biggie or Big L or Jam Master Jay or anybody? There's so many names, so I can't even name it all. I'm just giving you brief examples. Brief examples. And it's sad because they don't know. They don't know the damage that it causes. They don't know the issues that are at hand. They don't know how the repercussions are. That's the sad part. That's the part where it begins to dwindle down. It begins to say that people are more akin to being irrational. More people are likely to say that the the people that killed Pop Smoke, are representatives of the people, or are rational or good or something like that. That these two young men were caught up in the street, like within the rap game, I should say, not necessarily street life anymore, or close to it. They talked about the streets. Pop Smoke talked about the streets, but he was trying to get his career popping, and then somebody popped him. He got popped and smoked, sadly. So what is supposed to be is someone who is all on the level of being a he was probably a young man that wanted to be something and somebody, and was cut short. And then Sirtanky, which is unfortunate. That was an unfortunate name, by the way. That was a I don't know who named him that, or if he named himself that. That wasn't the best name, I gotta admit. You know, but it it was it was something definitely that should be looked at, should be discovered, should be his murder should be solved without a doubt, without question. his parents, his siblings, or his family members deserve to know who killed both of these men, Pop Smoke and Sirtanky. The police are still investigating. It's difficult for them to do that, to find who killed both of them. It's difficult for them to go to the foundation of what it is to do all these these both of these cases, in all cases. They're still open. They're still trying to find them. There's still a way in, a way of trying to understand. And like I said, it's on other people. Like, let me see. Are there names? Let me see if there's any names. Let's see if there's any names. All right, so I have a special person in the room that just came in. I appreciate her. She says she's watching right now. Thank you. Make sure you tell a friend and, enjoy it. Enjoy the show. I appreciate you being here. Um, there's so many people that are caught up in this web of nonsense. I'll say it, bullshit. It's a web of nonsense and completely errors in life. It's sad. I go to another source. Um, let me see. It says police are reportedly investigating that this as a potentially retaliatory attack. With the case details still being quite vague, it will be hard to identify a motive without further information. Regardless, law enforcement isn't ruling any possibilities out when it comes to this grisly case. When they initially found out about Sirtanky's body, they suspected foul play due to his body being naked. At about 8 p.m., there's a high tide here, Lieutenant Hugo Benea told the Los Angeles Times. There's a possibility that the container could have come in from the ocean and then got stuck in the lagoon, but we don't know. That is such a telling thing about the police. No, they hardly ever know. They hardly ever do. They hardly ever know. She's out of the room. She's got to eat dinner. All right, I understand. um, but that's the grim reality. Cops are trained for all of this, but reality is such that it overwhelms at times. And that's simply said, we don't know. That's what the lieutenant said. We don't know. They have to rely on the public. They have to rely on people to snitch. See, that's the thing. Snitch, snitch, snitch. And this isn't just rat to rat somebody out just because they're selling drugs on the corner, or playing their curb is swerving and everything like that. No, these are for homicides. These are for people's lives. These are for mothers, brothers, fathers, sons, cousins, daughters, everybody in between. Grandmas, grandpas, uncles, aunties. This is what it's all about. That's what the snitching movement is about. That's why you have to snitch for Pop Smoke and snitch for Sirtanky, because his brother was absolved. Apparently, he didn't have any connection to him, besides that. But apparently, there is a connection because of his brother. That's how Sirtanky died. So that's what I'm talking about. That's how sad this whole situation is. Two young black men murdered in America, where you're supposed to enjoy the fat of the land, beautiful women, wonderful cities, great foods, and just a plethora of riches and money and power and respect, all of that, all the good stuff. And then it poof, going away because you're murdered. You're dead. You don't have the chance to stand up for yourself. You don't have the chance to voice what happened to you. You don't have the chance to say, this person killed me. I am dead because of this person. No, you're unsolved murder. That could become a cold case. You could be one of the best people in the world. You could be one of the best rappers of all time and still not be able to recognize the facts of who you are and what you are about and understand what you can do and what you can be. Because you know what? Somebody went to roll up and shoot you or stuff, or they didn't go into detail, but he had to die somehow. I don't know if he was strangled, if he was shot. They didn't go into detail. They just said that Sirtanky was found in a barrel. That's all they said. They didn't say anything else. They just said that he was found in a barrel, and the fact that he had so many, people, like the gentleman who found him, he just he didn't even it wasn't even suspicious. It didn't have any markings on it besides the company, the printing company, and that was his casket. Like I said earlier, that was his coffin. That was his way of being out of here. That's the sad part about all this. That's how sick this is. That's how disgusting and disturbing this whole, hip hop culture is. No, I ain't snitching. I ain't snitching. Snitch. Snitch. Do it. Do it for you. Be selfish. Okay? Because they're being selfish in their own right. Oh, you snitched on me? Oh, yeah, I did snitch on you. You can be snitched on. That's the facts. That's the reality of this game. That's what's so true. And like I said, the cop, he admitted, he says, we just don't know. We don't know. So they're going to have to rely on eyewitnesses, people are surrounding the stories, under, this the ideas of what happened. I'll go on to another source. This is from hotnewhiphop.com. Meanwhile, one of the men accused of the New York MC's murder, an 18-year-old, recently confessed to the crime. Others either pleaded guilty or are still awaiting trial and judgment for their involvement in the house raid. Even though this could be connected to Sirtanky's death after all, it's unclear how it would impact Pop's case, if at all. With this in mind, that's just to keep you in the loop. With this in mind, you have to understand that this is the truth. This is the reality of what we are living in right now. And don't blame the music. That's what you don't do. You don't say, oh, they're listening to that drill music. He made drill music. He definitely wanted to be shot and killed. You live by the gun, you die by the same, and all that nonsense, It's not the case always. And especially not with the music. You can't blame music. A lot of people say that, it's like a tool. Music is like a tool in a sense, Or the people that are, speak the music or, are within the hip hop community. They have an abundance of vicious and harsh and rugged rhymes, but they're living life in mansions and Benzes and giving ends to the friends, and it feels stupendous. Okay, that was a Biggie line. I had to say it. If I say anything else, I get a strike. For copyright. But you know what I'm saying? Like they say, it's like a knife or a gun or anything. A knife can cut a pear or an apple, or it can stab you in the chest. It depends on the user who is using the tool, who is using it for ill or for good in their life. So you have Pop Smoke, Sirtanky. They're out of here. But we can fight for a better day if we just snitch. All right. Break in the show. I have to say, subscribe to Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube. Tell them I sent you. Hey, like I said, this is a great site. It's a great channel. Let him know that I sent you, please, so he understands. I want him to get more followers or subscribers. I always say it's the wrong thing. Subs, as we can say, we usually shorten it to subs, and you say unsub and sub, but definitely sub. Don't unsub. Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube. Subscribe, 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 and let other people know. Not only tell me, but tell other people to listen to the music and be enchanted by the easy rhythms of the songs. So Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube. All right. And there's some promotion from my digital friend. I never met the guy, but he's my friend because he sent in donations. He's the only member of the Skylar 50 Club. He's the only member. One and only. You can be part of the Skylar 50 Club if you give $50 a month. He's given way over that this month. So I appreciate his business and I would appreciate yours. You can be a part of the 50 Club too. So thank you. And now I have to do even more promotion for my short story, Ruler of the Kingdom of the Air. Now, this story, it definitely makes my mind turn. It makes the wheels in my mind, turn. Because like I said, it just flowed from me. Because I know the basics. I know the outline, I know the facts, and I know how to fictionalize. I know how to make sure I can color in here and color in there and understand what I'm talking about, within the framework of the story. I don't even have an outline. I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to boast. But I don't use outlines because I always deviate from them. I don't know. Is that the point of doing an outline? You outline an outline, and then you say, I'm not going to do that, and I do something totally different. I don't. So again, that's what I do. But this is part of self fulfillment. I'll say that because this may not be regarded at okay. Now I'm losing followers. I knew this was going to happen. I'm probably going to go down to zero. But that's okay because there's a rebroadcast and that's fine. Okay. So, if you have as many people on, your story and they're reading it, you have the opportunity and you have what is possible. And that's what I'm, trying to do right now. I'm trying to do something that's, specific to my own identity, within this story. Some people call it autobiographical. You can call it that. But what parts are autobiographical? That's the question. Oh, now I have two viewers. I appreciate that. I had three. Now I got one again. Okay. And plus, YouTube is a little slow because I checked and saw my own self. Excuse me, viewing from my iPhone, and it said it was at 3, and then when I clicked, it was on there for about 3 or 4 seconds, and it went to 4. So there's a bit of a lag in how many people are in the live. All right, but ruler of the kingdom of the air. It's such a story that is about the irony. It's about irony. That's basically what it is. It's irony in storytelling. How people will take something and know that it's false, that it's not real, and then still believe in it, and still be truthful and adhere to it. That's the sadness. That's the sad part about all this. That's the part that is sickening to me. But I regard people that do believe and profess in the name of the unknown and unknowable. Because I'm in the minority. I'm in a minority and a minority and a minority. I'm a man of color who happens to live in America, who is an atheist, and everything that comes with that. Also a capitalist. I'm a lot of ists. I'm an egoist. I'm an individualist. I'm on the side of ist, and I'm an objectivist. So it just that's what gave me the impetus about everything in the story. That's what really gave me the drive. Ayn Rand's words, her ideals. Ayn Rand, put in to from her mind, what it meant to be a true individual. I mean, complete, ironclad, without any restraint, free individualist. The idea of individual. Everyone is an individual. You can't unmake that. Everything is individual. And there's, of course, quantum physics, which I don't adhere to, but people will argue, well, there are possibilities for something to take up the same space at the same time. I'm not talking about that. That's not even close to what I'm talking about. I'm talking about human beings and other items within the world that take up the same one space at one time, only at one time. That is an individual. That is something that is individual in a sense. Matter, gas, or liquid. It occupies its own space. Now I'm getting to a science section and people are losing it. We went 2 to 3, now it's back to 3. And I'm at 7 likes, so I'm appreciating it. Thank you very much out there. But I like to see some ones in the chat room to see who I'm dealing with. So I'm trying to get $40 tonight. I'm PBS right now. I'm asking for money. I don't have any tote bags for you, but okay, Keith. Thank you, Keith, in the live room. I know, Keith. I know your situation. You already told me. So tell 2 or 3. Tell 2 other people, and let the third person wonder what this show is about, and then tell them to bring a little their purses with them, bring their pouches and their their paper out. Put dollars down on the show. It's been a few days since I had some donations, so it's stuck at 40. It's stuck at 40 right now. If I get $40 tonight, it'll go up to 80. If I get $80, it goes up to 160. You know what I'm saying? Doubles and doubles and doubles. So until I get to a point, I'm not going to go all the way up to obviously like $10,000 or something crazy, but I'll stop at like 500 or 600, somewhere around there. 500s or 600s, or 700, maybe a 1,000, maybe a stack. I'll probably stop at a stack. So I appreciate you, but no, the great mind of Ayn Rand, and I will say this again. This is the beauty of Ayn Rand's philosophy of objectivism. There's schisms, there's contention, there's disagreement, not on principles. We all know the principles: reason, individualism, capitalism. Those are principles. We don't fight over that. That's just facts and truth and reality. We don't fight over the 7 virtues: rationality, independence, integrity, honesty, justice, productiveness, and pride. We don't fight over those. You can say, oh, there's other, virtues like honor, courage, other things like that. But the ones that she delineated, those were for her. Just like how her philosophy of objectivism, there's the Fountainhead, and We Living, Anthem, The Fountainhead, and Atlas Shrugged are the only works of fiction that are objectivist. There's no other objectivist literature. That's it. There's romantic literature, there's romantic realist literature, but there's no objectivist literature besides those 4 works of fiction. No objectivist, fictional literature besides those 4 works. So I was empowered. It gave me an idea. I've been writing on the site for going on over 6 years, and it's been a thrill. I'm gonna put in a live chat. If you're not gonna vote, or you're not gonna donate money, you can at least share the link I just put in. Share this link That gives me money. When you read that story, every person that's read that story has helped me get money because they go by a algorithm and an algorithm that says that you get so far as many lines that you scroll through, and that will be like a one read, and so many reads tally up to CPM, which is cost per mil, or mil in this case is 1,000. So if you have 1,000 uh words, that's $6. That's pretty dope. I don't care. That's it seems low, but when you look at the grand scheme of things, I made more money in challenges. I made more money on just the idea of stories being written. I have over $2,000 in earnings from this site, and nobody's in my ear. Nobody's telling me what to do. Nobody's saying, "Hey, you need to start, your writing career in here." No, I just looked at a YouTube, or no, a Facebook. It was a Facebook ad way back in 2017, and I looked at it and I said, "Writing? I've been writing on the internet. What is this? What does it say? Vocal? What is vocal about?" And I just started, looking at it. And I started in the first few, entries. I still have like 2 or 3 views, but my top views, the number one story is about gangs and the end of gangs in the world. And I have over 2,500 views or reads on that story. But back to Ruler of the Kingdom of the Air. That I was totally taken aback. When I thought about it, I was like, wow. I could really do this. I finally have the chance to do it. It's been percolating in my mind for years, and I'm still thinking if I should do a book series on on it, because it could just be one book or a whole series, because it's you can say it's autobiographical, and you'll see why. You'll see why soon. You'll see why. But I don't have I don't. This is my gripe with vocal. This is one of my gripes. I have a few gripes with them. One of my gripes is they don't give the number of views or reads next to the search when you search on your own page. It just says the story. You have the story. Yes, you can go back and all the hundreds probably of pages, but that could take forever. What they should do is update the algorithm and say that you can see the money tied to the story and see what it makes after the fact. That's what it has to do. I appreciate that, Keith. Thank you. I can get even more if if you tap on that vocal, that media, that link, and send it to your friends. That'll make very good. That would be very good. Do that, Keith. Send that where it says rule of the kingdom of the air. You see that right there in the live chat? Tap on that. Copy the link, or they'll have a share link, and you can share it with your friends and family. And that would definitely be something that would be very good. That would make me happy. That would make me a happy camper, because I'm definitely in the consensus that vocal is a strong site. They have had $20,000 winnings. I've never touched that much. Like I said, I only have over $2,000. But yeah. So it's just something that is very warming, heartwarming. I don't like the term heart so much. That's the problem we have in this culture. Heart. In my heart of hearts, in my heart, charge my head, not my heart. And it's sick because it's like dissecting something. I just lost a viewer. It's like dissecting something, because you want to say the heart is obviously good, and it literally is a pump that pumps blood through the system, the cardiovascular system, and throughout all the points of your body. But at the same time, people think it's literal. Like if something happens, they clutch their heart, like, and it's not something that's a myocardial infarction or a heart attack or angina, something like that. It's like the loss of a friend or a loved one or something like that, or you were shocked or something like that. Say you stole my heart, like, and then people love to use the phrase, "Oh, love is in from the heart" and things of that nature. Thank you, at least Keith. Thank you for being keeping it a buck. I don't have friends. I have family members, but I don't have friends like that. I don't do friends. I just I associated with a lot of people. I have a lot of school members, school classmates, but we're not friends. Not even close. But back to what I was saying with the heart. People say that love comes from the heart. Love is an emotion. Love is an emotion that is directly stems from the brain, the mind. And that's another thing too about matter. We like to confuse that mind and matter. Well, if you don't have a brain, you don't have a mind. And in most cases, if you don't have a mind, you don't have matter. Because the mind is what gives you an idea of what to do to keep the matter, to keep your brain functioning. You have to have a mind. And it's not always true. Like I said, it's not in every instance. Like babies and the elderly and stuff like that, and people on machines in a coma. They're not technically using their mind, but their brain is functioning. But I digress. I've gone into, a total different area that I not expect to go into. I went to a totally different, plane of existence. Um, but okay, so ruler of the kingdom of the air. I have to thank Miss Ayn Rand. She gave me the direction. See, I was going on a direction of non-belief or belief and faith and all that, and unreason and diversity for diversity's sake and multiculturalism and all that mess. And she said, "No, no, 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 young man, no, young man, you're not going to go this way. You're going to do something that's going to be much bigger and much better. You're going to do something that's going to be revolutionary in your own life, not just that's going to be some monumental ground shifting and groundbreaking thing in the world. Not yet, anyway. But I have for my own life. I've been able to do this for my own sake. I've been able to do this for my own existence, and that's what gave me the power to write this story. This story is roman au clair. It is a story or usually a novel, but this is just a story with a key. The key is the fact that everybody's fictionalized. Everything is fictionalized. There's historical actions. There's historical, you know, facts that still reside within it. That seems very unfortunate, Keith, that you're disowned. That seems very unfortunate. Hopefully, you can find somebody that can, patch up whatever issues that you had. But that's in the live chat. That's a gentleman in the live chat, supporter. Um, if there's who else? Okay, so if Keith is in here, there's two other people in here. And if you put a one up in the live chat, if you're under the sound of my voice, put a one up. Don't be scared. Don't be shy now. Oh, now okay. One person just jumped off the line. That's fine. I can just talk to Keith. That's cool. I see you, Keith. I'm talking about this other person or the other two people that were in here for a while. I see you, Keith. I appreciate you. You can put your one down now. I'm worried about this other person. that's hanging on, not donating, and not explaining why. See, I know Keith's story. I understand that. Just support by sending this link, the link to this show, and my writing. That would be a great help for me in my bank account, because that's what it's all about. Everybody says, "Oh, it's for the whales, it's for the snails, it's for the frogs, it's for the hogs." No, this is for me. This is for my life. Because who else is going to do it? Nobody else is going to do it. That's when it gets selfish. Well, why don't you find a job? Well, why don't you find gainful employment? Why don't you say this and this and this and that? That's when it's selfish. That's when you can be selfish. Well, everybody's a little selfish. Well, everybody's selfish. That's what you hear. You should always be selfish in the sense of sustaining your own life and not worried about trampling on other people's values. That's selfishness. Making sure that you are, in essence, the only thing that's important, and without treading on anyone else's neck. That's selfishness in a nutshell. It's much deeper and much more expansive than that. But that's it in its totality, and just as a chestnut, as a small form, and in a nugget. That's what we're talking about when we say you are the only person that is worthy of being your own person. You can't be. That's a cliche. Got to be yourself. Everybody else is taken. That's a fact. You are an individual, but can you be an individualist? Can you be an egoist? They say, "Oh, he has an ego. Oh, she has an ego. Oh, I don't like that. That's disgusting." They say there's a problem with that. You can't have an ego. See, they try to confuse it with narcissism. They try to confuse it with the idea of being somebody that's completely full of themselves and not able to understand arrogance or egoism. I just found out that arrogance is more of a virtue. I was thinking about the Rush song Tom Sawyer, very classic rock song. Though his mind is not for rent, don't run him down as arrogant or so. I'm chopping up the words. I'm paraphrasing. I don't want to say too much because I get a copyright strike. But don't run down as arrogance. But then I learned that people like Ayn Rand's intellectual heir, Dr. Leonard Peikoff, said that arrogance is pretty good. Arrogance is a good thing, and that's like the word pride. Pride is a negative issue to most people. Pride is an evil. Pride is one of the 7 deadly sins. But is it? Aren't you a proud mother? Aren't you a proud father? Aren't you a proud church member? Aren't you a proud fisherman? Aren't you a proud Cowboys fan? You can be all kinds of pride, but you can't have pride in yourself. And what is that about? What kind of nasty, backwards, disgusting thing is that about? What is that all tied to? That relates to, the history and the idea of what it meant to be, cast out of the garden in Eden in the Bible. It said that humanity had too much pride, or that the snake or the serpent or the fallen angel, Lucifer, whoever wants to call it, the devil had too much pride. And he went to the garden, and I might be chopping this up. I'm probably chopping this up, but he didn't like humans at all. He didn't care for them. He wanted it just to be the angels. He just wanted it to be a case of angels being ruling heaven and earth and things of that nature. And then when God made man, he was like, "What is this? What's man? What is this? I'm gonna go tempt this man, mess up their whole life, then have people singing, down the line, out of the mythological sense that let's go back to Eden, live on top of the world." Those are actual lyrics to a gospel song. Go back to Eden. Go back to a sense that there was senselessness. that there was no idea of mind, there was no morality, there was no sense of sex, there was no, it was just fig leaves to see the drawings and the different paintings. That's basically what you always had. And then, when Eve gave Adam the fruit, and they didn't say it was an apple, they just said it was a fruit. Notice that it it changed the world for believers. This is all mythology. That's the best part about that. This is faith. This is not real. This is not fact. But what's sad is people take this literally. They think this actually happened. They think that there's an Eden in Africa that somebody happened to come across, and God had looked in the garden and saw, and then the way that God is depicted, he's like, I mean, he's not like a fool. He's like a assistant principal or something like that. Like, what are y'all doing? What's going on over here? What you up to? Like, he already knew that like a assistant principal seeing smelling marijuana in the air, knowing what these kids in the bathroom are doing. He knows already, but he's like playing like he doesn't know. That's what God does. He says, okay, why are you not? Why are you why are you shielded from view? Why are you covering yourselves and stuff like that? He knows, obviously, if he's all knowing, all powerful, all seeing. Keith, you may not ask. I have to restrict you from asking questions because you don't donate. If you, as long as um give as long as you give the links and share. If you share the links to the ruler of the kingdom of the air, that would be helpful. And show me receipts. That would be even more helpful. Do screenshots of all the people that you sent the story to. That would be very helpful. It looks like I'm only talking to you right now anyway. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much for being a supporter. Whatever you can do, like I said, I'm not gonna ask you for money. I know your situation, but if you can just share the links, that would be very good. Share the links to the show, share the links to the story. That would help out a great deal. I'll be appreciative of that. That'd be something that would be of great understanding, and I appreciate everything that you're doing right now. You're my one and only viewer right now. I'm talking to one person. As long as I'm talking to one person, I'm all right. When it gets to zero, that's okay too. Because I said, like I get to rebroadcast. That's something that's okay. I appreciate that. I can live with that. That's something that can be done. But like I said, this story is rooted in fiction, but it has elements of historical accuracy. It has elements of actual occurrences that took place over the past few years. And I just wanted to impart it. And I was waiting for a time. They had this challenge, Great American Novel. I was like, this is my Great American Story. This is the all-time greatest story. I'll give you just a few, drops of information. I was born in the first state on an Air Force base on the first day of summer. Now that doesn't seem like it would make it, who cares, right? If you don't care, I totally understand. But how this fits into the story makes it so much more interesting than just having it without. So if there's any confusion or any misunderstanding regarding the story, let me know. I can clear it up. I think it's pretty clear though. I heard, I've had some positive reactions to it so far. Most people are saying, it's very good writing, very well written. I appreciate that. This is a C student for English, honors English and advanced placement English. C just got C's. Didn't get B's or A's, but I got C's. I got Crips instead of Bloods or Alphas, or whatever you want to say. But hey, it's been real. Thank you very much. This was a Sunday evening special. I thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure that you hit up Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube. Tell them that I sent you. Subscribe to that channel. To that, and make sure you listen to all the great music that he has to play. And I will see you probably tomorrow. I'm not sure what time. Maybe in the evening or around this a little bit later. And I appreciate you and thank you very much. Take care.